So let's say you have a chord progression like, I don't know, D major, A major, and G major. You know these chords super well, and it's really comfortable to play them, but you don't exactly know how you can change things up and play the same chords but make them sound a little bit different. So what I mean by that is, what if you wanted to take your D major and play it like this? Or your A major and play it like this? Or your G major like this? So in this lesson, we're going to explore something I've taught in the past, and it's triads, but not the way that you've seen triads taught before. I promise this is a much better technique. My name's Jesse Glick. This is a 5-Minute Monday. Let's get into it. So for this lesson, I'm going to show you the 3 triads that you need to build all of the rest of the triads on the guitar. And the best part is, you just need 3 chord shapes that you probably already know. We need the D shape of a chord, the A shape of a chord, and the E shape of a chord. So what we're going to do is build all of the triads that connect to each of those chord shapes up the neck. So each of these chords will serve as a box where 4 triads exist inside that box. So the D shape will have 1 box, the A shape will have a box of 4, and the E shape will have a box of 4. All you need to do is move 1 note around at a time. So I'm just jumping in real quick to say that this video is sponsored by nobody. Well, I guess kind of by me. If you're enjoying what you're watching, please hit the subscribe button and like the video. Also, I offer private lessons on Zoom, so if you want to learn this stuff from me way more in depth, shoot me an email at jesseglickmusic@gmail.com or follow me on Instagram, like somewhere right here. All right, let's get back to it. So if we take this D chord, if we want to make the next triad inversion based off of this chord, all we need to do is take the highest string that we're playing, so we're playing an F sharp. We need to move that note to the next lowest string that we're not playing. So we need an F sharp taken from this string, and we need to move it to the D string. And then we can get rid of the high string because it's just 3 notes. So now we would have this. Notice that the 2 notes I'm playing up high are still the same notes I was playing in this shape. So we're just moving 1 note to create the next triad. So there's 2 more strings, which means we can do this 2 more times inside of this box. So this time, the highest string that I'm playing is the B string. The note on the B string that I'm playing is a D. So I need to move D to the A string. So here's my D, and I can get rid of my middle finger now. And this would be the next triad in this box. So right there, we already have 3 ways to play a D major chord just from moving 1 note at a time. We still have 1 more string to go, the low E string. So what note am I playing on the G string? That's an A note. So we need to find A on the low E string, which is here, but I can't finger it with these 2 fingers, so I'm going to come back around and play like an E chord based off of that 5th fret. So in total, we went from here, moved 1 note, moved 1 note, and moved 1 note. So right there, you've got 4 options to play 1 chord. If you know this shape of a D chord, you can do this anywhere on the neck. So I'm going to go right here. This is a G chord. Same movement across the strings. G, G, and G. All right. The reason why there's 3 chord boxes as we go up the neck is because there's 3 notes of a chord. So that high E string right now, that's my major third of a D chord. Next in line, we have the 5th. So we need to find the 5th of D, which is A. So if we look at this A shaped of a D chord, technically we would be playing this high E string on the 5th fret, but it's difficult to do, so we mute it because we don't actually need it. But if you wanted to play just the triad based off of this note, so notice the highest string I'm playing, the E string, I'm playing an A note on the 5th fret. So I need to move that A note to the D string. So here's my A, there's my next triad, and I would actually bar it like this. Okay, let's do that again. The highest string I'm playing now is the B string. The note on that string is an F sharp. So I need to find F sharp on the A string. So I'm going to move this F sharp to here. And now I have these 3 strings. Well, we still have the low E string to go. So what note am I playing on the highest string right now? This would be the G string. I'm playing a first triad to the second, third, and fourth. So now, just off of 2 chord shapes, the D shape and the A shape, we're able to build 8 different D chords just by moving 1 note at a time. Like I said, there's 12 total closed triads on the guitar, so we have 1 more position to go, and that's based in the E shape. I think this one's actually the easiest to comprehend because most of the triads are literally right under your fingers in the bar chord. So, to start, we're just going to take the first 3 notes we play in that chord, and we need to move the highest string to the next one that we're not playing. So this note is a D note, so we need to find D on the D string. And now we have our next triad. Okay, now we need to take our highest note that we're playing, which is on the B string. That's an A note, and we're going to move it to the A string. Finally, we got to get to the E string, so we're going to take the highest note that we're playing on the G string. That's an F sharp, and that's right here on the E string. So here's our final triad. So one more time, coming from this chord shape, this is what we have. So with this knowledge of just taking these 3 simple chord shapes that you know, you have access to 12 different triads that you can play up and down the neck on the guitar. So if you're playing with other musicians and someone's just strumming a D chord along, think about all the triads you can build just in that position. Maybe you could play, or you could descend. You could go. Me cycling through the triads that we've gone over. So now you might be wondering, all right, I see the concept, how do I actually practice this? Well, sometimes we just need to grab a metronome and do a quick exercise. This is how I would practice it. So I've got a metronome pulled up, just Google metronome and it'll show up. I'm at 65 beats per minute. What we're gonna do is take every triad and play it per click. So we'll start on the D chord here, and then we're going to play all the triads each click. 2, 3, 4. Now we're in the A shape. We're going to do the same thing. Now we got to go to the E shape and do the same thing. Give this stuff a try. If you just dedicate a couple minutes here, a couple minutes there each day to just sort of building your triads out on the guitar, you'll become such a better player. And it's not just for your rhythm playing and playing chords. When you see these triads when you're playing solos, that's when you can really start building melodic stuff. I'm doing these 5-minute Mondays every single Monday totally for free. So if you want to support me, hit the subscribe button. Leave a comment if there's something you want to learn in the future or you learned something in this lesson. But for now, my name is Jesse Glick. That was a 5-minute Monday. I'll see you in the next one.